You're not gonna land clients if you keep doing this. No wonder why you're not making money. It's so obvious. So you're a portrait photographer and you're asking yourself, where are the clients? Why am I not making any money?
Give me your money!
Well, to go straight to the point, you're doing too much. What do I mean by that? So you want to do portrait and fashion photography. Great, that's a good thing. Let's look at your portfolio for a second. How much of your portfolio is actually portraits and fashion? Not like the sheer number of photos on there, but like the portion or percentage of your portfolio. What else do you have on there? Do you have some weddings, maybe some events that you've shot, some street photography, some landscapes maybe? And your answer is probably yes, and that is the issue. I have a program with a bunch of portrait photographers inside, and it's a pretty cool place. It's like a community. You also get a course too. If you want to check it out, click the top link below. It's really cool because you've got portrait photographers in there that are on the same path as you. But the main thing that you get when you join the program is the course. And one of the things in the course, it goes over cleaning up your portfolio, guiding you into creating the perfect portfolio to land clients. Almost every single person who's watched the course has said the same thing and has realized, oh my God, like my portfolio is all over the place. And they find out that they're spreading themselves way too thin. There was someone on the program that before joining, he literally just had a plethora of random shit on there. You know what I mean? Like, it was mainly portrait and fashion, that's what I wanted to pursue, but then you also had some street photography on there. You had some like random photos of a clock and some trees and a beach shot or something like that. Like, it was just so random. And when you do that, I even told him, you look like a hobbyist, because if you're not pursuing one specific genre or one specific way of shooting or whatever it is, you just look like you're doing photography for fun. You don't really have a set goal with like what you want to pursue. This is exactly what you want to do, and this is exactly what you want to get hired for. You've got street photography on there, you've got weddings, you've got portraits, you've got fashion, whatever it is. It's all over the place, and that's why clients don't take you seriously. And quick plug again, that course I just mentioned, one of the things in there talks about how you can clean up your portfolio, perfect it, and become a specialist. And the photographer that I just mentioned, when he joined, when he finally cleaned up his portfolio and specialized into just portraits and fashion, he's been seeing more client leads and paid bookings. So if you want to become like him and turn this into your full-time career, click the top link below to check it out. So if you want clients to take you seriously and pay the rates that you actually want and deserve, then you need to only show one side of your photography. Like, put yourself in the client's shoes for a second. If they're shopping around for photographers for their next project or whatever, ad campaign or whatever they're looking for, and they see your work, they come across your portfolio, and it's just a bunch of everything. They're looking for a portrait and fashion photographer to do portraits for them, fashion related thing or whatever it is, and they look at your portfolio and it has like, yeah, it has portraits and fashion on there, but then there's also some street stuff, and you've got a picture of a park and bench with a stranger, and then you've got a wedding and some events that you've done, maybe some sports photography, and it's like, yeah, they're cool photos, but it's like, I'm not gonna hire that person because I want to pick the person that is a specialist in that one thing of what I'm trying to hire for. You know what I mean? So if it's portrait and fashion, they want to hire a photographer who strictly does portraits and fashion. There's only a few like exceptions to the rule. Obviously, there's famous photographers out there that there's some people that can do everything and do side projects and make zines and photo books of random everything, of all the photos they've ever taken and just random genres or whatever it is. But they're an exception because they're already famous, and yeah, you're not an exception, you're just an average photographer, and you can't be doing that. But this is actually good news for you, because now you can focus on this one genre of shooting. Before, you were spreading yourself so thin trying to do street photography and weddings and events or whatever, and then portraits. You can put all your focus into portraits. So for me, when I started to do portrait photography, I put all of my focus and all of my energy and time and money into this one genre, and I got to significantly improve in such a small amount of time. And I've been able to find my style, perfect my portfolio, and create my best work because I didn't waste my time trying to do some street photography and dabble in some events and weddings. Like, not saying you can't do those genres, but trying to take them as seriously as your portrait and fashion photography and trying to show it off and make projects out of it or something like that, and spending a lot of time and money into those other genres, that is going to negatively impact your progress that you make in your portraits. And that is why you're making snail's pace progress. That's why you've been doing this for like 2, 3, maybe even up to 5 or 6 years or even more, God forbid, and you haven't really made much progress doing this, and you haven't really made much money. It's not because, oh, there's no money in what I'm trying to do or anything like that. It's just because you're trying to do all these, you're trying to do everything. You're trying to do, again, like I was saying, you've been trying to do all these different genres. You're trying to do sports, you're trying to do events, you're trying to do streets, landscape, everything like that. And this leads us on to the next point. Another thing that is holding you back from landing regular clients and turning this into your full-time career, you're not shooting what you actually want to get paid for. What do I mean by this? Well, you're filling your portfolio with shoots that you don't actually want to do. Like, you're forcing yourself to do corporate headshots for companies. You're forcing yourself to do more commercialized stuff when in fact, you want to do the fun, cool, creative fashion editorials. Okay, so here's an analogy to help you understand this even more. Let's say there's 2 musicians, and both musicians, they want to make a living from their original music. They want to make money from their own written songs, their own lyrics, beats, or whatever it is. And only one of them becomes successful. Why is that? Well, musician 1, they want to obviously make money with their own and original music, but they start off by doing cover songs. They build up that reputation as a cover artist, meaning they play other people's music and they just sing their music instead. They do that for a couple of years maybe. They built up that reputation as a cover artist. They built up this massive audience and fan base of people that love their cover music. They've got hundreds of thousands of followers. It's going great. But then they want to make that transition to original music, because that's what they always wanted to do. They never really wanted to do cover music. They just did it because they thought they'll get more views from it, more traction, etc. And then they make that transition into doing original music and they don't get the same response. They used to get like 1 million views on YouTube or whatever it was, or loads of tips in a restaurant or a bar, and now they get nothing. They get like 50k views on YouTube and they get $5 of tips at restaurants when they usually get like hundreds of dollars, whatever it is, right? But you see why that happened, right? Like, they built up that audience that wanted their cover music, that loved them for their cover music, and they made that change, and they almost essentially betrayed their current fan base to then pursue their actual true passion. But musician 2, on the other hand, they started off by doing original music from the very beginning. They didn't think like, okay, I'm gonna do some cover music to build up an audience and then pursue my passion. They started with their passion. And yeah, initially they don't really make much money, they don't really get much traction because yeah, it is their own music. It isn't gonna be that as good as if you just did cover music from other artists. So yeah, initially they don't really make much money or much progress or many views. But then eventually after a couple of years, they built up that dedicated fan base, that niche and dedicated fan base that love them for their original music, and in the end they make 10 times more money and become so much more successful than musician 1. And it's the same thing with your photography. Don't think that you can just do a bunch of commercialized and corporate headshots that think that is going to make you the most money, and then once you made a few $100s or a few $1,000s from it, and then you switch over to become the creative editorial photographer. It doesn't work like that, because you're not going to get hired by the same people, because they're not going to want that anymore. It's like, oh, we hired you for your corporate stuff, we didn't hire you for your creative editorial stuff. So they're going to either stop hiring you completely, or only hire you for your corporate stuff. So in the end, you're not really making much progress. Because if you're being honest with yourself, you do not have a passion for that type of work, for the work that is regarded as the safe option. You have a passion for the creative editorial work. You want to express yourself in a unique way. You want to be the best creative director possible. So if you pursue your passion from the very beginning, you're actually subconsciously going to make way more progress than if you pursued the safe option. Because if you do the safe option, you have no passion for it and you don't really care to make that much progress from it. You don't really put much effort into your business. I know photographers who've been doing this for like 20 years, 10, 20 years, that have been doing work that they never really found that fulfilling. And because of that, they don't make the progress that they could have made if they pursued something that they actually had a passion for, because they don't really put much effort into their website or put much effort into their portfolio. They don't really put that much effort into their marketing either. But if you pursued something that you genuinely love doing, you're going to make so much more progress. You're going to be doing shoots for free. Not as if like a client is going to message you and you're going to do it for free, but like you're going to do it for free in your own time. You're going to organize your own shoots. You're going to put your own money towards it. Like I've been doing. Like I've been doing this for like multiple years, and throughout that, only recently in the last year have I been able to make like serious money from this business model. But that's only because in the last couple of years, I've been pursuing this passion without a client hiring me. I've been organizing shoots, I've been networking, finding new people to work with, and in turn, I was able to create my best work from my free projects, which would eventually land me those clients that give me that creative control. Because the truth is, you will make way more progress pursuing your passion, even if that passion is more niche, like creative work and more stylized photography, than the photographer who did the safe option but has no passion for it. Because again, that photographer isn't going to put much effort into their business because they don't really truly want to get booked that much. They're only really doing it purely for money. You're doing it for money, of course, but you're also doing it because you have love for the game. You genuinely love doing it, and you're gonna make way more progress. You're gonna wanna do a photo shoot every single week, improving on your craft, watching videos like this. You're gonna be spending a lot of time trying to turn this into your full-time career compared to you trying to pursue something that you don't really care about. And making money with your creativity isn't as simple as you think. So if you wanna turn this into your full-time career, land clients that are open to your style and creative direction, trust me, it is possible and it's closer than you think. And I want you to check out my program in the top link below. Like I mentioned earlier, that is going to help you there. The course that you get, that is a roadmap, not only just to make money as a portrait photographer, but to make money from your creativity, from your style of shooting. Perfect that portfolio, create the work that clients will be open to your style of shooting. You won't just land 1 or 2 jobs and that is it. You will learn how to turn this into your full-time career. This is a long-term investment and it isn't even expensive. It's only $200. Look, imagine that there's a source of knowledge that you can go to that will apply to any stage of your career, and it's only $200. That is like what, like a shitty photo shoot at worst? At worst, you can make $200 from like a mid photo shoot. You can, most likely you're gonna be making way more than that from a single photo shoot, which is something that you will guarantee book if you follow the action steps in the program and obviously join it. Because imagine you're the photographer that doesn't have to conform to any sort of industry standard and you need to do this and that. You can be as experimental, as creative as possible. There's plenty of photographers out there that are doing the same, and I want you to do that. If other photographers like me and other photographers in the industry can make money from their creativity, so can you. It's not like a small exception. You can. You just need to learn the right strategies and action steps to get yourself there. So if you want to check that out, click the top link below. The program that's going to help you out there. Hope you found this useful. My camera just turned off for some reason, I don't know why. Hope you found this video useful. Thank you for watching. Click on this video right here to learn more about portrait photography, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.